Hi, I'm just out for a stroll. I need to get some exercise because I've been cooped up in the apartment. I wanted to briefly talk about a debate that I just watched between Matt Dillahunty and Dr. Mike Licona. Now, this was on the resurrection, and Dr. Licona had 2 points talking about history and how, if you look at historical facts, it seems to support the resurrection. Also, like some facts between that there is a supernatural realm and that miracles do happen. If you don't believe miracles happen, that's fine. You can watch one of my previous videos where I think prayer really does work. Matt in the video would deny that prayer really works. Me, as someone in my life praying because I have cancer, I very much believe that prayer does work. I'm also somebody that believes in science. So when he's citing these things about how these studies where maybe people knew they were getting prayed for and had worse outcomes, well, hopefully I'm not going to be that person. I'm definitely going to be somebody that is doing a lot of things to combat that, do everything the doctor says, as well as pray and also investigate some of these nutritional interventions. So that's really what I want to kind of talk about, actually, because my unique circumstances with these nutritional interventions really gives me a unique perspective on how to analyze some evidence. And the thing that always bothers me from an atheist worldview is they just deny that the supernatural exists kind of flippantly. It's not because they deny it based on the probability argument that probably the supernatural world does not exist because there's not a lot of a good evidence for it, or the overwhelming evidence is only the natural world exists. They just dismiss it because it doesn't fit their worldview. So they would appeal to this idea that explanations in the future will be sufficient, which we have no clue. It's a complete faith-based statement. It is naturalism of the gaps. You have no idea with the future if you're going to have, better evidence that Jesus' resurrection had some naturalistic explanation or not, when you don't have any leading up evidence to it, any scientific studies that would make your claim that the natural world, the supernatural world, does not exist. So, what I personally bothers me is that we have to make a decision. We are stuck here on this world for, if we're lucky, 80 years, 100 years, and we can't live our lives thinking, you know what, I want 100% certainty, I want 100% proof, or I'm not going to believe it. The truth of the matter is that for someone like me, when I was going through treatment options for my cancer, I had to make the decision what to do based on past history, based on past evidence, and there's nothing that was guaranteed. If I sat around and waited for the science to be certain, I would probably end up dead and not be doing anything. So that's why I did things like looking at some mouse studies, for example, with turmeric and sarcoma cells, like causing those cancer cells to die. Also with green tea, causing those sarcoma cells to die. I decided I'm going to do this. I am going to take turmeric supplements. I am going to drink green tea. Even though the evidence is only in mice, we don't have the best evidence, which would be in humans. I had to make that choice. I couldn't just wait around and let my cancer take over and not do anything. So the thing of it is that we are all mortal beings. We're going to die someday. We have to really decide, does the supernatural world exist? Was Jesus God? What is the meaning of life? And we can't just dismiss this and say, well, maybe later there'll be better explanations. I'm just going to stick to my naturalistic worldview, not because I have good reasons that there is no God, or good reasons that the supernatural world does not exist, but just because I don't like them, or I want my worldview to be, I have to stick to it. So if I don't believe that there's a God, then I will need to accept that there is no supernatural realm. And that's what really bothers me. I just wish that in these debates people would be open and honest and say they're really doing themselves a disservice, because the truth of the matter is, you cannot debate about evidence that's not in evidence, so to speak. So evidence that's not on the table, you're basically talking in hypotheticals, and that's not a good place to be in. So the truth of the matter is that we are going to die someday. We have to make a decision, and I just really wish that atheists would be more open to the fact that it isn't just sufficient to not like any of the evidence that there is a supernatural world, but they need to have good enough reasons to reject that, because like it or not, you have to make a decision. Now, this should be said that people's minds can change. Good evidence can come out for something like the resurrection or against the resurrection. That's fine, you can change your mind. But the fact is, we have a limited amount of time on this earth, and we can't be spending it just saying, I refuse to accept something just because I refuse to accept it. Alright, thank you.